In a holy land, in a holy land, in a holy land, in a holy land.
All the way down the pass and say, la 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 la. In the holy land, in the holy land, in the holy land, in the holy land.
Okay, yay, here we go. This time we are live. I pressed live. Yes, I pressed live because a few times I already played intro and didn't press live. So today is probably the banter that I made the most preps for. I have a script. I planned it ahead. I asked questions. I have some questions from you guys, but we will start with short speech and disclaimer. This time I didn't put be wary, I'm sorry, because I will try not to swear to make it appealing to everyone, including those of you who are not biggest fans of my natural language. I will say hellos in the second when my guests will join me, because today we will talk about product designing. And that's the thing that people often have questions and some expectations. And I see both things. I see it as the designer and as the end user that some stuff we assume and then we realize that they look completely different. And I often talk with people who have experience in the area of being the product designer, because actually our industry is so small and still so new that there is no one path that one should take if they want to have products designed by them with their name. Each journey looks completely different. Mine was really accidental, and the process that we go is also very different, but we have some struggles that are similar, and some of the things are never admitted aloud. I will admit to some of them today, but don't take it as the whining, because I'm always grateful to have the chance to have my name on the product or to come up with something else. All my guests are designers in the meaning that they make a signature product. It can be one or couple, and they have different experience and a different length of experience. So I hope that we will have really nice conversation here. And nobody is the owner of their brand. We all went with the umbrella of the bigger brand, because having your brand with your products is something completely different than being just a signature designer, like I said. And we will skip just one part, because me, and I think my guests the same, I would love to design the products and to get paid for it, because it will take a lot of time and a lot of stress and frustration and back and forward and a lot of unexpected things that you have to be flexible and adjust, and it just takes a lot. And everyone wants to be paid for the job, and then I would love the company to put it on the market for me and give to all of you for free so you can enjoy it. But it doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, stuff have to have some price, but we will not discuss the pricing, because any of us have no influence over the pricing, over the shipping. So we will not discuss the financial part, as well as if somebody will say that they cannot talk at some subjects, please be understandable, because for most part, we cooperate with some brands, and there are contracts, and they often bound the things that you can share and you can openly discuss from different reasons. So for sure, the financial part we will just put aside. Yeah, and we will focus on something that I had on one of the team halls lives, that it's you decide who will be the product designer. You as the end user and me, we are voting with our money for the products, for the designers, and for the brands. And I think that we should support good people and good brands that stand for similar things that we do. And yeah, okay, so that will be the disclosure. We will talk about the journey and how it started in the second, but let's bring the guests so they can say something and they can say hellos, and we can kick the thing off. Okay, so first person will be a crazy looker, Coco, Spanish girl that was running here. There was a chance that she will be joining later, but I'm super happy to see her in the studio. Her mind is full of ideas, and I have her name on some of my favorite products, on some of my favorite stencils, and lately she took us on galactic adventure to the new world. So yay! We will start with Lulu. Yay!
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so I'm the accidental designer, because my journey started with me being designer completely by accident. I was the only one who knew the program in the group, so they picked me, and then it just started to snowball up to the stage where I ghost design for a living. Some people have some of my designs without knowing that I made them, because I don't enjoy seeing my name on the product as much as I like to create with them. And how your journey started.
My journey started because I just wanted to do it. Like I really wanted to do something, and I was lucky that Aga Baraniak asked in the group if someone wanted to design something. So I had some ideas of very basic stencils, nothing related to what I do now. But she gave me that opportunity. And it was bittersweet because it took some time. Mail is weird, so I couldn't have my stencils. But finally, I got it thanks to another store that gave to me the stencils in a fair. It was everything very weird. But then, I'm like that. I don't wait for things. I go for them. Yeah. So I was just one day thinking, okay, I want to design some chipboards. I'm going to talk to Jennifer from Dusty Attic. And yeah, I'm that crazy person that do these things, and I do that all the time. It happened the same with Seal Logos. I talked with La Tienda de las Manualidades and told her, hey, guys, I want to design this and this and this. Would you put the money? And they said yes. And then I talked to Tracy from Lindy's, and I was like, I have some colors in my head. You are going to think I'm crazy, but I dream of these colors. And she said, go for it. Because I'm very lucky that I'm surrounded by a lot of people that is as crazy as me. Yeah.
But you started with already having some following and first making your name for you, because I actually entered the market, both as crafter and designer almost at the same time. So it's not like I first built up, everything just flowed up for me. So, but you are also accidental designer, I would say.
Yeah, I have designed some other things, but nothing related to crafting. I don't know.
We will see. We will see,
Yeah.
because I see that you cannot spill too much tea yet.
Yeah, I have things going on that I cannot talk about, but I'm the kind of person that thinks if you want something, you have to go for it. You have to try, because what is the worst thing that can happen? That they say no, it's okay. I'll try in another place.
That's right.
So that's how I do it.
Okay, so second guest, I would say that she was destined to be a product designer, because she blew up first on the market as a very unique designer, and her artworks were just mind-blowing and something very, very unique and amazing at the time. I was lucky to see that journey, how it happened, and I would say that she was destined to be a product designer, because everything, all the products that I have with her name on, just excites me, and they always, even if the color is not necessarily something up for my liking, the quality will be there. So the attention to detail is amazing. And lately, she came out with amazing, 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 amazing molds. Again, something that never happened in the commercial crafting market. We had some glimpses here and there, but it was just amazing things. So let's say hello to Anna Pinova. Okay, wait, your microphone. Yeah, now. Oh, yeah.
Hi, how are you? It's good to see you, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. Especially we know each other for quite a long time, and it was interesting to read the idea for this chat, because I know many people want to know things, and that's very true that we can only say that much because there's contract quite often behind it, and if we spill the beans, we are going to get punished in some cruel way. I'm not sure exactly what is the way, but in a cruel way, we're going to be in big trouble. So we have to keep it kind of private, but on the same time, I think it's really important that we will explain some of the things, because I heard a lot of interesting presumptions in the past.
First of all, everyone assume that it just happens, that on some stage, absolutely everyone who have a big following, it will just happen. It will just fall from the sky. And second of all, people think that it's like you can do whatever you want, or just browse through internet, through some kind of magical pool of free designs of stuff that are there. You can just say, yeah, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and slap my name on it, and thank you, that's it. So it's
I've heard that as well.
Yeah. And also often I read or hear the comments about copying the idea, and with knowing how long it takes to develop a product, that it's impossible, because those releases are like 2 weeks apart. It's impossible that one person would just rip off the other.
Production takes. It all depends on the product, of course, but very likely if there's similarity, it's because people were inspired by the same sources instead of copying each other. It is not happening that much in mixed media, because we do a lot of the products which are typically like paint or acrylic based, or they have different kind of ingredients we can mix with each other. So it's hard to copy something. Usually it is very unlikely it's going to happen. But when it comes to graphic designing, people use the same sources sometimes. And even if they work completely independent way, the accident may happen. And then there's the big story when two companies release the same looking paper collection, just because they were using the same sources and they decided this is going to be trendy, this is going to be inspiring. And yes, but
It just happens that they look exactly the same.
Yeah, I was going to say that sometimes it happens in other fields that something is trendy, and then everybody in that field start designing stuff that is going to be trendy, and it happens a lot in with clothes.
yeah, fashion is like that as
Yeah,
well.
fashion. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, everything is the same. What is going on? Why? It's because
Yeah.
something is trendy and you want to be successful.
With papers, I will explain later on how it happened that some things, you look at the brands and you see the same things, but Anna will here show the perspective of really big designer working with really big company, because it will matter when we will discuss the timing and how long it takes, because I think that for you it will be the longest time, because bigger the company, longer the production time.
Yes, and at the same time, you have to remember I'm not the only person who's involved in the production, because of course I do the part that belongs to me, but then it goes to other people who are supposed to, for example, add information on the packaging, or they should be designing the packaging only, because sometimes we just copy the same product. Honestly,
Yeah,
if
you
it's
take just
the same,
the private label
it's
jar
easy,
that
but
we have just that many jars on the market to choose
and
from.
that has to be developed from scratch, and that means somebody has to literally sit and make a new design, and the new design has to be combined with my design, then it has to be processed and then sent to production. And then again, usually the bigger companies, they will outsource a lot of the production, because this is not possible to be to be able to produce everything. And Prima is known for Prima flowers, and this is what they produce, and this is the factory they have. They really have flower factory, and they
But I
do.
also don't think that somebody is just sitting there in the main Prima office and just making flowers on demand.
In fact, there is office that is only dedicated to making flowers. They have like it, because the factory itself is this. I don't know when. It was a few years ago. There was really video that was showing how the Prima flowers are made, and they are really proud to produce the flowers by hand. This is all handmade job. This is not like somebody's sitting on a machine and the machine is making the flowers. No, they're die cut by hand. Well, not really hand, because these die cuts are huge, but people are stepping on the die cuts. Then the people are sitting and making the flowers by hand. This is really family production, like the family owned company. But of course, there's also development section of the company, when people will sit and think what kind of flowers they can do this season, something to match the new paper collections, what kind of color palettes, what shapes, and so on. This is really, really interesting, because it's just like product designing, but on completely specialized field. These people only specialize in flowers, so this is what they do. And of course, if they decide to produce something else, for example, they started making metal embellishments after some time, paper collections for scrapbooking, stickers, stencils, all that has to be outsourced to the companies who are specialized in that. And they may have some of the other tools, like they have probably some tools, as far as I remember, for laser cutting and so on, but you can't really expect them to have the chemical lab, because that would be completely different profile. So it is divided between a lot of different vendors, and it all has to be put together, and then from there it has to be formed into a logical collection and then put on the market. So the time is quite long. And
pictures, oh my god, that's my least favorite part of the work, to make all the pictures and everything super cohesive. This last part just before the lunch is most stressful for me.
especially sometimes there are delays and you want to make the launch and everything should be delivered, but something got delayed and you only have not even production samples, you have the raw samples of something. So you have to take the photos in that way that people will still see the product, but they, for example, can't see the packaging because the packaging is not there. I just have it in a random jar, or I have it
in the face cream jar from Body Shop.
Yeah. And then how to make it look professional, because something happened. And in the last year, when there was a situation in China, when a lot of factories were closed, not just things which are done in China but were affected, it was easy to see
But
how
also
whole
things that go through the China.
That's one thing, but plenty of packaging is sourced from China. So you may have the product ready in your factory, wherever the factory is, but you're waiting for the lids of the jars, or you're waiting for the jars, or you're waiting for the blisters, or you're waiting for something else because that was outsourced to the company which specialized in packaging. And then
I think that last year is just the year of waiting. I feel that I have been waiting all the time for something.
It was a learning curve for many people, I think. That is a new situation. And now I think the companies started to manage a little bit better and plan a little bit more in advance. They adjusted. But the beginning of the beginning of the year was really challenging. I think we were all running like headless chickens for some time. It was
That's my normal mode, I'm headless chicken on every day. So in this situation, it was madness. But talking about things that hop last year, the last person who will join us our panel is
she frozen?
good.
I think she is freezing.
Yes.
Let's wait.
I have a heat tool.
Design
Maybe
her. Now? Are we okay now?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes. I was just planning to say all the bad things behind your back when you can't say anything and we are here.
Yeah, because something glitched in the internet, so I switched for the network. So last person who will join us is somebody who had huge experience in the crafting department, in the art department. And last year she came up with her own line, and her experience can be mind-blowing, because I think that nobody can say Lady Vagabond without immediately thinking about her. And she became the face and the body and the soul of the product that she came up with. Just wait, I will add Bella now. If I will touch you, yeah.
Yay!
Okay. Yay! Hello. Okay. So here we are in the full set, and of course I was dummy and I didn't rotate my camera, so I will be small screen at the top. Okay, we can say hellos to everyone because we have quite a crew today. Everyone says hello, so hello. If anyone has any questions, just type them in the capitals in the chat section, and I will try to see them. The ones that were added on Instagram, I already filtered and I have them in the script. So I'm super prepared and excited about it. And we will start with the first one that I came up with myself, but also a lot of people have that question. How your creative process look like? For me, it's mostly somebody writes to me like, we need the collection with flowers in violets and blues, and you have like 2 weeks, and those are your templates for, I don't know, die cuts, stamp sets and stuff like that. And yeah, talk to you in 2 weeks. And I either get approval or maybe small amendments. But for most of the time nowadays, it's just like designing on demand, using the graphics that I source myself. And there are also the places in web when you can legally purchase graphics. And that's how things trending, because I feel that all the collections that have same stuff from last year, they were always like on the first when you opened any of those websites that have graphics that you can legally purchase with license, they were always like trending on top, like different kind of bugs and scarabs, and then moons and astral themes. They were, all the packs always trending. So I would assume that they will be also trending in the collections, because people often purchase them like, oh my God, they are trending here. That means that there will be a lot of designs with that. So I will take it and just make something with the hope that it will fit on the market. And for most of the times, it works because so many people, purchase those graphics. So it is a trend. It becomes a trend. You want it or not. They already have it, pay for it. So there will be a lot of things with a similar thing. So, no, how your creative process look like when you design something?
Okay, I'm super weird person, I know. I dream with things. I just dream with them, and it's like they're like a ghost. If I don't take them out of my mind, they will chase me. So yeah, I dream like I want houses. I want little houses. Okay, I have to draw little houses. And then I start drawing in a notebook, stupid doodles, actually. And then from that, I have to go to the computer. That is a nightmare because I don't have a good relationship with technology.
I don't think any of us do.
Yeah, it was much more easier with coloring because computer has nothing to do with it, and I like that. So it happened all the times that I have something there and I dream with it. It may be the colors for Lindis or the stencils of the chipboards. They come in dreams. So yeah, basically I try to put them in a notebook and then go to the computer and fight with the computer. Yeah, a lot of fighting. Come on, I hate Adobe Illustrator.
Fight with the software is the part of the process. I hope that it's a part of the process for everyone, because as much as I like to do it, I struggle with some things, especially if I know that something is doable, but my skill set is stopping me from doing the thing that I want to do. And I'm trying to find my way, and it never works like I think in my head.
That is a pity because for example, with the stencils that I want to do them very intricate, I have cool ideas in my head, but I cannot make them really in the computer. So I have to say, okay, I cannot keep losing my time, wasting time in the computer trying to do this because it's not working. So
I know somebody that knows how to make this part, the stencils, the part that is like black magic. She just wings it. I was amazed when first time she just drew something, and then she was like, yeah, it's a stencil, and I already have the file. We can go and cut it. And it was like one evening the idea, second evening everything is ready, and I was like, what? It takes me like 3 days to make a small circle, and you did that in one evening? How?
I have a theory. She never sleeps.
I sleep. I promise I sleep.
I think she does sleep because time to time, time to time when we FaceTime, she's like, okay, good night. And you can say that a second after she said good night, she already was in the bed sleeping. So it had to happen time to time. So the amount of the projects that you put out, and I think that's how you became because you did Lady Vagabond, and how you will do a next line when everyone already associate you and Lady Vagabond so close. I don't see that separate. So, and it's amazing because within 1 year you just grew, blow. It's really unexpected because with Anna, she blows up on the market, but she started like the flower, and it took some time. First, as the DT member, and then as the product designer. So it was like slow growth, and yours was like, "Hey, I'm Bella. I'm from South Africa. Hi, I'm Lady Vagabond."
I think Corona exacerbated that because yes, in January last year I was having fun at Frankfurt, and then in May I was a international teacher for Stamperia, and in June they asked me to design for them, and in October my paper was launched and my products, and it was like I was permanently on fast forward. That's how it felt. Like every day when I thought it couldn't get better, it did. It was just one of those incredible things. I mean, like you say, it's by accident. I kind of also feel in a way it's by accident, but not. I mean, because I've been in this industry on the consumer side for many years. So for me, but like my whole process just seems to have been accelerated. And I think, like you've been speaking about, a lot of companies purchase designs, and I think that's what makes mine so different. Is a lot of mine is revolved around things that I drew or I designed from scratch. So I know Anna works in a similar way. So she also sources things and tries to find things that are original, rather than following the trends, trying to create the trend. And I think also when you design something that means something to you, or that you've been feeling is missing in the products that are out there, that's when things really work, because you've put your heart and soul into something. It's not like going to what I call the craft supermarket, for want of a better word, where
Flower and butterfly makes everything better.
But I think all of us are end users, and I do think that makes a big difference as a designer, because I know what I feel like I'm missing on a page, on a product, to do mixed media, to do scrapbooking. It's not like a company has, because I know a lot of companies do this. They have graphic designers who are very good as graphic designers, but they have never done scrapbooking. They have never done mixed media. So what they might put together is very pretty, but it's not practical for the end user use. So I do think that is also something that makes a difference to the products that all four of us produce, because we are looking at how, I know certainly I look at it at how I would want to use it at the end. And what excites me is when the product is now out there and I'm seeing what end users are doing with it. And it's like, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, wow, look how they're doing this. Oh, wow, look how they're doing that. And how people inspire each other when they get the products in their hands. And that for me is so exciting. So
okay, that's really good answer, and you finish your sentence as an adult, so I don't know what to comment here. Anna, how your creative process, developing process looks like?
First of all, my developing process changed a lot over the years, because when I was starting, things were slightly different, and the range of products we were doing, they were a little bit different. So I also had to learn. I have no graphic designing experience at all. Whatever I do, I just had to learn in the hard way, trying to figure out things. And
do you remember your first product? Because I do remember your first product. It was first professional, like full collection that I purchased.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, but honestly, when I started as a paper designer with 7 Dot Studio in Poland, and that was at the very beginning of the company, and we were basically working in the with 3 people making designs and being printed and so on. And in general, I had idea what to do and how to do it, especially that I am not a graphic designer, so I wanted to try from the other end to make the things that I was missing myself. And I was certainly missing all the basic gray papers, and that was the time when the basic gray was getting out of the market, and those lovely
they were crashed with the first scrapbooking expansion when there was too many companies,
and they had the best backgrounds for layouts, the best almost plain, just slightly maybe tarnished, some slightly stamped backgrounds that could, they were giving me the space where I can really do something. There was no butterflies, no flowers, no swirls, nothing. It was almost plain background. And then they disappeared, and I had no option to do my projects on, because like everything was printed. Like, oh my God. And that was my idea. I wanted to make a collection that is going to have these backgrounds in. But then the problem was I had to also do the A sides, because they are considered to be the B sides of the book. So as a mixed media person, I just started making them by hand. I just made original artworks. They were later transformed by me in Photoshop as much as I could to create scrapbooking papers, which were a little bit different from the things which were on the market at that time. And my Photoshop,
I think that they still would be something different, because you made 2 first collections and nobody ever touched the tea bag topic again, so you still have it open.
What I think, because it is more time consuming, you have to really make these by hand. Then you have to put them into digital version somehow. So you have to have a proper scanner for that, which I purchased at that time. Then you have to do all the editing and so on. It is much longer than just taking the ready-to-go graphics and putting them together, which if you are skillful and quite quick, you can do probably in a few evenings and you will have it. For me, it wasn't like that at all. If you're skillful and, but I'm not talking about myself, it takes ages for me. So that was the first thing I had to learn. I had to learn a bit of the editing skills that I didn't have. I had to really learn on the way. And luckily I had my friend who was able to tell me, like, really, you can do it this and that way. And then when I started working with Prima, luckily I could give them similar product to what I was making for 7 Dot Studio, and they were able to give me some suggestions on how to prepare it for the future, so it's going to work better. So they have less of the work, and I have more of the control on the final product, because nobody ever showed me how to do the product designing.
Because there is no one way. Everyone do it in totally different way.
You ask for a clear instruction, like, how should I prepare the files? What do you need? And they say, yeah, that's 300 DPI and full size, make it in TIFF or whatever. Like, yeah, but so many questions, right? Like really. And that was really like hit and miss in the very beginning. And then the more I was working with Prima, the more information I was able to gather from the art department, what really they need to make the design, because it is really different depending on the product. If it's a paper, you just prepare a ready to go thing. The same with the stamp and the same with the stencil. It is just like a file. It's almost like ready to print. But making metal embellishments is completely different thing. Making molds is completely different thing. Making any kind of 3D elements, honestly, is completely different thing. There are some specifications. They have like the product sheets they're going to send to the factory. So you have to give as much information on the product as possible. So it's going to be really what you want to get, instead of like, whatever was on the Chinese market, it was kind of similar.
Yeah, because whatever you will not say, like that it have to be there, they will just skip it, because everyone wants to have a little bit less work.
This is not possible to make, or like, oh, but you said it should be a clock. You didn't say exactly what kind of clock. And like, yeah,
you didn't say that it have to face the right way.
Example. So in the end, I learned a lot about what exactly is to do. And what I was honestly doing, I was so detailed with everything that I was putting there. So it was like a proper sketch with the sizes, with the material, the images of the finish, examples of the finish. So it's not going to be painted in red when I want it rusty, for example, with all the measurements as much as I could it myself, could do it myself. Finally, just examples, whatever they could get, so they won't be able to get away with something different. So it has to be really precise and had to be a lot of like detailed information. But it took me a few years until I got to the skill level when I was able to produce the spreadsheet almost just myself. At the very beginning, I was able to give the images and the measurements, but I didn't have enough skills to make like the file. So it had, I had to learn. And then completely new thing was preparing the mixed media products, because you work on another field. You don't give the measurements of gel medium. You just try to find the product that is going to meet your needs. So you have to actually try tens or 20s or hundreds of the product sometimes and get to the one that is going to be the right one, and then work on the packaging and work on the descriptions and so on. This is nothing. Getting to the right formula, it's like
I wanted to ask, and how about the knowledge, because to basically you can take a clear gel and buy some pigments, mix it together, and in theory you will have a paint. So basically
in theory,
everyone could make it, but in practice it doesn't look like that. So
it's completely different, because you can give good specification and good examples, but honestly the formula of something chemical has to be done by the specialist in the chemical lab, because they have the skill, they have the knowledge, and they know what is going to work and what is not possible to make. Even if you want them to do it, they won't do it, because they know it's going to be a disaster. And they will tell you like, listen, that would be very cool, but in reality, it's not possible. So you have to listen carefully to all the information you're getting from people who are actually specialists on that field. So people who work in the industry making some kind of chemical products. Usually they will be doing paints, glues, art mediums, different kind of products from that field. So they have the experience, they have the knowledge, and you have the experience and the ideas. So you have to somehow meet halfway, and they have to rely on your choice when it comes to making the products, and you have to rely on their knowledge when it comes to making things possible or not. And honestly saying, the first version of Art Basics, so the first release we made, it was 1 year and a half of working with 3 different vendors to create the line that is now the staple line, Art Basics, and a few of the texture paste as well, because we were not able to get right formulas and right product from one vendor only. There were many things which were not going right. Sometimes it was the price, sometimes it was the consistency, color, something. Sometimes it was just they were stubborn and they didn't want to listen. So in the end, this process could take 1 year and a half. So when you talk about copying things, like for me to put product on the market, it's usually 1 year ahead. So I have to work 1 year ahead to make the designs, that you can see. So whatever was now in the winter, I was honestly finishing that in the late winter 1 year before. Like I almost almost forget what I've done, honestly, because it's a long process. And
You had combined 2 releases, so it's like so many things at once, because I would assume that you had planned how to release them, because I always just jump head first. I get the products and okay, we have a release, so for tomorrow I have to prepare, and I just sit and prepare like crazy. If I need pictures, I'm doing pictures. If I need help, then there is always somebody who can help me with samples. But
because we
usually it's not
a
planned.
lot of work in advance. Well, it is all, well, with the bigger companies, you have to remember you are not the only one who's having a release, right? So there will be schedules, and they have to make sure that every product that is going on the market is going to have enough of the exposure time so people will just go and buy it, right? Because if you put everything at the same time, of course people will have to pick and choose, because they would like to have this and that collection and that. And it's not good, right? You have to schedule things. The first we do release of, example, scrapbooking collection, then there's redesign with Prima, then there is mixed media, and then there's something else. So I have the expected time of my release, maybe 1 month ahead, and then it's going to be changed like 2 or 3 times anyway. So I'm just trying to get prepared with what I have and what I can do. Then, of course, there's a lot of other factors, because sometimes the production is done, but we had situations where the actual product was sitting in the port because of the strikes, for example, or something got stuck on the way and then it was delayed. And it was not just me. There were the other products coming with the same ship because they were, for example, produced in China. So everything got delayed. You have to have a lot of patience and time. And honestly, on some point, you just get used to that. You have not real control over the final timing of it. You just have the estimate, and then you have to be as flexible as possible. And the first years it was happening, I was panicking, I was freaking out, because it's not just me. These are the design team members, ambassadors. They want to create, they know the product is there, but they can't get it. They're pushing me. I'm trying to just say something, but I have no idea. And in the end, it is all honestly sitting here in me. And I went, later, I got used to that, and now it's easier. It's just I'm getting more used to the concept. There's a lot of stress in the in the release time. Let's do it smoothly. We will be fine. But if you ever think that everything is always planned and always on time and always under control, you have no idea about real life.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I saw Nuneka's face when you say a year and a half and about the preps, and when you said you have to be patient, she was sitting like,
yeah, because
I will help.
Yeah,
I tried. I was like noodle, but that was basically burning me.
It helped me a lot, because when I dreamt with my colors, I was super quickly excited, emailing Lindy's owner, and she said, "Hey, go for it." And I was very lucky that I have a friend she's already in the team, and she helped me developing the colors. So we made all the work like in a weekend, like, yeah, I have this, and we can do this and this and this, and we have it, and we send it. And hey, thank you, pandemic. We have to wait almost 1 year to have the colors in the market. And then it was like something was happening on the time. Now the labels are not good. Now there are no blue pigments in the world. Now the labels are again bad. Now this is happening. Now the customs is holding the packaging. Now, come on. And it was like, okay, I need to relax and forget about it. And whenever it comes, it's welcome.
I already imagine you packing the suitcase with all the little jars. Like, I will go and I will burn off the labels from the ones I have, and I will pack them myself, and I will stick the stickers.
Yeah, you kind of have to learn how to get excited twice. Because first you get excited when you make the design, and then you have to, let it go for so long. Once it is coming back finally, you have to get excited again because you really want to, see it on the market. You really want people to use it. You really want to use it yourself. But you have to find that spark that you had almost a year ago in yourself somewhere and just let it, flame again into flame of creativity, because it is not so easy to get excited about things that, you are a different person already. Things changed, right?
And this is already old. I think that, it seems like Bella is the only one who never suffered from, like having enough of her own design, because every day she's popping with 3 new projects. And every time she's using her stuff in a different way. But I had that conversation with Nuno already, while I'm staring at the designs. It doesn't matter if it's a paper, stencil, or stamp. And, I'm not a stamper. I do stamps. I know how to make the stamp for product to work, to actually stamp stuff. And I have one idea, maybe 2, for the product. And when I'm looking at it at the screen, I'm like, oh my God, that will be so cool. I cannot wait to have it in my hands, to do this, that. And then when the product arrives, I have it in my hands. I either forgot about my ideas, or somebody did something similar in the meantime, or it just like, it's old. I already, in the meantime, I have that product. In the meantime, I designed 20 other ones that I'm excited about. And, then it's a block. And I don't want to come out to people and tell them, oh, here I have this one, but I have no idea what you could do with that. But when I was doing it, it was cool. Now it's not, but still, here it is. So how to defeat that problem?
Yeah, I have that problem with the chipboards. I was super excited drawing them, and then months later they came, and I was like, what am I going to do with this now? Why I wanted the houses so badly? Hopefully people like them. Oh, and by the way, the person who is helping me developing the colors is Martina, Frau Poli, in the chat. She is in the color development department, and she is an amazing help. And it's like she can read my mind. It's amazing.
That's good to have somebody who can read your mind, because then you can work better together. I always, when I work with somebody else, because on the designs that you don't see my name on, I work with the person who usually is signing them. So if I don't have the flow with the person, it will not happen. I don't have to match the style. I just have to, communicate quite good with the person, because otherwise I will have totally different idea and totally different approach. So I like people who can read my mind and who can explain, like Anna said, with a most of detail what they want, because there is no problem of being somebody's hands and just put stuff in the Photoshop. But then I need like full description, what and where should be and how they want to see it, because my vision for the script that they provide depends on how detailed it is. And from the same script, you can come up with couple designs and they will not be the thing that that person actually wanted.
And I think something that I've been sitting here, I mean, we're all sitting here speaking English. I'm the only one who's a native English speaker. So you guys all have language issues as well, and depending on the countries that you're dealing with. So we are English speakers dealing with Chinese companies and wherever else in the world these companies are coming, our products are being made. So I think also that's something else that we that people don't even think of, is that there's also a communication I don't want to say problem, because it's not a problem, but like how I might understand something and how you might understand something with the same sentence. We can both draw completely different things from it. So as designers, you're constantly balancing like what is required of us. Are we understanding it correctly? Are we putting across what we want to put across? Are the person on the other side understanding us? So there's a lot more to designing than just drawing pretty pictures. And I think that's what a lot of people don't see.
Pictures. And I'm jealous of that part, because if I knew how to draw stuff that I have in my head, my designing would go so much faster, because I either have to force somebody whose station is over there to sit and draw it for me, or I have to Frankenstein it from everything that I have and I stole from his sketchbooks. It's not stealing, the hours we share everything, so it's almost not a stealing. And I usually combine it with collectibles and try to make it look unique, but not too unique, because if something is too unique, then I like it, couple people like it, and rest of the people, they don't like it, and they will be very vocal about it. Okay, so how about working with your own product? Love it or hate it? I prefer to work with somebody else's product. I like develop the product. I like to make one or two things with it, couple ideas to just get them out of my head. But I love to work with other people projects, other people products, because if I look at my shelf, I have mostly by accident I have two bosses from two design teams here. So yeah, but I love to work with other people products, and I would say that usually I have completely different vision for them than the person who designed it. So would you prefer to work with your stuff or somebody else? And how do you feel when people take your project and turn it in the way that you would not turn it, and you would not like to see turn it like that? What to do then? Any volunteers?
In my case, I think this gap between you have the idea and you have the product, it doesn't help me a lot at all. It's like, I need a time to fall in love again with that design. I think it's that. And then I can do it. But not always, because sometimes I have designed something and I love it so much when I was designing it. And then I was like, what I was thinking about.
Yeah, the things change. One day you like butterflies, other day you like dragonflies more, and the butterflies are already something from yesterday.
I don't know. To me, it's a love-hate relationship.
Okay,
And
so
I like to mix. I feel lucky that I can design for different companies. And okay, so logos is not mine, but it's mine. So I can do whatever I want, and I feel very lucky that I can use whatever products I want to use and mix them all. I feel very lucky about that.
okay, and the feelings when you see people using your stuff.
Wow,
What do
that
you
is
feel?
amazing. That is something mind blowing. It's like, wow. I feel proud not only that I designed that is that I gave someone something and they enjoy it, and that makes me incredibly happy.
Okay, so now Bella.
Sorry, I'm reading the chat. If you see me looking over there, it's because I'm reading the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat as well. I just want to make sure that we will not take way too much time. So, wait, what was the question? Because now I got distracted by somebody's comment. That's the story of my life.
Well, there were two questions. Do I like working with my own product, or do I like working with somebody else's? So all my life, I've always worked with everybody else's. And so for me, I think I'm the newest kid on the block here. So for me, it's still exciting to be working with my own stuff. I enjoy the challenge of trying to come up with new ways to use the same stuff. Also, the company that I work for, I'm grateful they have a lot of paints and mediums and things to play with. So
you are exclusive to Stamperia for that time
so
period.
yes, I have to work with exclusively Stamperia products, and I'm very grateful that the products they have are so varied, and you can be, it's you can use them in so many different ways. So yes, I'm still at that sort of like pinch me, it's like all still sparkly and new. And I mean, it's 6 months since my line launched. It launched in October, and we're now at the 1st of April, so it's 6 months. And for me, it's been the most amazing 6 months. It's been the fastest 6 months, I think, of my life. Also, I mean, the crazy thing was I'd never been on a design team in my life, because living at the tip of Africa, it's not the easiest thing to achieve, because nobody wants to ship all the way over there. And so I'd never been on a design team. Now I'm running a design team. So like Anna said, you as a designer are constantly learning. So there's lots of challenges to being a designer. You have to, it's a balancing act. So you have to be creative, you have to be a manager, you have to still be productive,
and you have to bend the knee time to time and compromise.
Exactly. Compromise. And I don't think I've ever really seen anybody use creative stuff in a way that I didn't like. Sometimes you can see that somebody is a beginner, and they're still learning, and that's great, because we all started somewhere. I didn't arrive on this planet at this stage in my creative career. So I think that's what we all have to remember when we're looking at what we see online. And just remember that, some people are new to this journey and still learning, and they will get there, and with everything that we put out there, Anna and Nunu with their Patreons, constantly teaching. And I mean, the pandemic has been a way for us to have to again recreate ourselves, where Anna used to be able to go and do classes and interact with people, and now stuck at home. So, not only are we having to learn computer work, like how to do Photoshop or whatever, and as Anna said, like learn all the intricate details that the different products need, be it the chemical side of things. It's something I've always said, just as an artist, when I was teaching my traditional fine art students, I said, as an artist, you have to be a botanist, a zoologist, an architect, a maxillofacial surgeon and understand the structure, you know.
You said the word that I don't know. Use the
Yeah,
silent
it's
mode.
not
You
going
can
over
see
head,
on
but
my
like,
face that I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know.
But it sounds important, so we all say yes.
yes, just nod your heads, just nod and agree. So yes, so as artists, I think we have the most complicated jobs because we wear so many different hats. We're teachers, we're designers, we're artists, we're marketing, we're managers, there's so many things to keep. I feel like you're juggling so many balls. You've got to constantly have all of them in formation, because if you drop one, they're all gonna come
Not
tumbling
true.
down.
When you're juggling and you drop one, just focus on the ones that you have left so you can continue. Because otherwise, it's a fail. And I know that you love every single thing that people put out there. I know that if you have been tagged on the picture of something, for sure you have seen it. You didn't miss a single creation with your line online.
It's
She never
something that
sleeps, I tell you. She never sleeps.
yeah.
I have no
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
how you do it, because I know that you have seen them all, because sometimes I'm calling you and I'm like, oh, have you seen that amazing thing with the Lady Vagabond? And you are like, yeah, I saw it yesterday. I even commented underneath and I'm like, oops, sorry. So I'm sure
Wow.
that you're getting excited when people use stupid hair, when people use your stuff.
Yeah.
Anna, would you prefer to use yours or somebody else's designs? And how does it feel when people use your stuff and you see it
It's a very
online? What's
complex
the reaction?
question. It's a very complex question because the answer is yes and no to everything a little bit. So I'm quite lucky that my range of products is really big. So honestly, what I'm trying to do is to make the products for myself. So I try to make them the way I like them. And when I am able to work on the formula of the paint or formula of the gel medium or formula of the paste, I will do it according to my personal taste. And then, of course, I have to remember about other people as well. So, for example, if we release the paste and I would only make it black and silver, I have to remember that people would like to have maybe red and gold and other colors. So once the formula is done and I like it, then I will add extra colors, thinking which colors may be inspiring for other people, what will work, what color combinations. So I have to think for myself and for the others as well. But it's always my choice. So it's not like somebody will tell me like, no, you should not make any green. This is not in style anymore. Like, no, this is good thing about working for so long with Prima. They just give me a lot of creative freedom, which means I don't have to explain too much. Why do I need some products? They tried in the beginning. We were having a lot of discussions, and many times there were situations when I was insisting that it is really important, and they were thinking like, no, it's going to be useless. Like nobody is going to use that. And luckily, most of the times I was right. Maybe because I was really feeling like now I have to show you that it was really important, so I worked so hard to promote it. But honestly, I was fighting for products like Clear Gesso, for example. Clear Gesso was a must because it was missing on the market in the formula that I needed. Because it did exist, but mostly for fine art, and it was too gritty, and it was honestly not suitable for small size of the project, art journaling, for example. So it may seem odd when you listen to somebody say, yeah, we need black, white, and clear gesso. And they're like, why do you need clear gesso? Like, what is it for?
Yeah,
Like,
why you need clear gesso? You cannot use just glue. And it's the question that
exactly.
always like,
You have to remember.
the name is different, not just
Just don't
Selma or
know.
Jazz. It's not the
You know
same.
what? when someone asks me if it's needed, clear gesso, my answer is always how you can do anything without clear gesso. Just explain to me how you do it because I use it every day.
But when we were making the first range of mixed media products, my hair is annoying. I had to discuss the matter with people who were basically graphic designers and product development section, who were mostly doing pretty stuff, and they were having
didn't
no
have
experience
any mixed media range. That was
Yeah,
everything
so we had to learn.
shabby and girly.
Yes, they had to learn. They had to learn to trust me, and luckily they were very willing to trust, and they were really giving me plenty of freedom. And until now, it is all working this way. But if they will see that my idea is not going to work, in their opinion, they will just come to me and say, "Listen, we don't think it's going to work. Maybe you can do it other way, or we have to wait with this release because that makes sense." So there's constant discussion. But in the end, whatever I put on the market, like 95% of the times, it's something that I really made thinking about myself. So I love using my product because it is me and my selection and what I really wanted. But I absolutely love using other people's product as well because it's different, but also it's complementary to what I have in my range, which means I don't have some of the products, and I don't think I should have them because they don't fit in what I have in my head. But I love to have them at home to use them from time to time. And luckily, I'm not restricted. I don't have to restrict myself. And in the very beginning, it was a bit different. Companies were having more strict guidelines about what is okay to do for design team members or for the product designers. But I was able to convince Prima people that it's good to show that our product works well with other brands, especially if there are not direct competition, because it's going to open us to the other market. It's going to show new ways of using the product. And it's always great when people use the product. So there's no problem for me to use something if I really want to. However, I really like the way I did mine, so I'm not going to use other gel medium, while for me mine is perfect. Like, why,
I
right?
always have one thing that I like about particular products, and sometimes I combine couple of them from the same genre. You would say that they are all liquid acrylics, but each one of them I like for something else, and they give me something else. And
also,
theory, I could go with one, but in practice, I like to use 6 or maybe 7.
Most crafters have a selection of different companies' products on their desk. And depending on what those products do, you're going to reach for that product because you know that's the final look that you want. So, yes, it's no crafter just buys from one company.
I have plenty of stuff in my studio, and believe me, more than half of it is completely not Prima. So this is just for my own pleasure. But also, I had to learn about other products. I had to learn how they work, so I can really make the conscious decisions on what kind of qualities and what kind of things are important for me in the products I'm going to make. So how can I make decisions if I don't know what is on the market and what are the differences? So I had to try different products myself until I found something that I know is going to be the closest to what I love. And then I can use it as, base to make my own idea, my own improvements, and so on and so on. So it is important to use other people's products, because also when you teach the class or you do online show, people will ask you questions about products from other brands as well, because they have them at home. You need to give them the information. What is the difference between crackle paste from Prima and crackle paste from Stamperia, crackle paste from Tim Holtz, crackle paste from any other brand? You have to have at least the rough idea what is it. So you will be able to tell them, listen, for this technique, it's better to use that brand, and for this effect, it's better to use that brand. And I try to have that
to
knowledge.
know basically that some things will not work. You know, some things you can replace or just use something else, but there is no option that you will take a water reactive medium and then go with water on top, and it will stay just like the acrylic because you had it at home.
Don't have that knowledge. This is why they take the classes, and because you are the teacher, you have to know how to help them, how to understand the product. So when I get questions about the basic knowledge about the product, I'm trying just to repeat important key elements so people will know the difference. But honestly, even the graphics, I am not able to make everything that I would like to use, right? So it is kind of natural that you love to use other people's designs because they are just simply pretty, inspiring. You have this, crafting hoarder in you as well. You want to have this pretty stuff and you want to use it. That's kind of the thing which is collector. You mentioned.
Hoarder sounds so negative. It's collector.
It's collecting, yeah, but also, this is kind of natural thing that we are all end users as well. We really use the products, so we know that it is important to have variety of different things on your table. You can't be very creative if you only stick to one style completely. Especially with my stuff, honestly, mine is very eclectic, very, very eclectic. So I'm able to pick up almost everything and include it into the project somehow. And of course, I can recycle almost anything that I have, but I have my preferences. Like I have things that I like more than others. And in a way, if I go somewhere to teach a class, now I can't, but even if I go to the shop, most likely I will be shopping as well because I'm teaching the class, but after that I'm doing my shopping because I didn't see this one in person, or I really need that washi tape, or I really need that paper because it's amazing and I need something else.
Interesting. I heard about it. I love to compare stuff, so like I love liquid acrylics in any shape or form. So 2 shelves in front of me are basically filled with similar product in full rainbow from different companies, and I see the difference between them. The other people are like, just the different color. No, it's not just the color. For the color, I can just mix them together. No, it's also something else that they give me. The one will be more matte, one will be more glossy, less or more opaque. And I know that on the final picture you don't see it, but when I create with the product, I see the difference. I also see every little mistake that I make on the design.
Yes, but we all are harshest critics.
A small line that you forgot to erase from the stamp. Tiniest line that everyone thinks that it's the part of the design. And I know that I forgot to turn off the layer, and that tiny line, that 1 millimeter is supposed not to be there. And it's just, I will look at that product with, such a disgrace, like shame.
But you are the only one who knows.
Yes.
Probably Belinda also knows, because I would complain to someone that I forgot removing something. Okay. I also have one question that was on Instagram a couple of times, because I put the box when people could ask the questions. For the future, I will do it every time before more important for me and hopefully for you, Banters. And a lot of people wanted to know what's your favorite. Basically, couple questions like smushed together. What's your favorite part, moment, or element of the process of coming up with the product? Because for me, it will be the moment when I already have the idea and I'm designing it. It's on my computer and it's up to me what will end up to be on the paper, stamp, or stencil, and that's my favorite part of creative process. And the first inspiration that I will see with that product, it doesn't matter who in which style will do it, and if they will use it in the way that I planned or not, but I always get very excited for this first hashtag with my name, with the final project, with somebody else's vision to my work. Okay, so maybe this time we will start with Anna, because you are always at the end. What's your favorite part of the process? Yeah.
Honestly, my favorite part of the process is when I finally have it in my hands. Because you may believe it or not, but I don't enjoy graphic designing. I don't like it at all. I only do it because I have to have my stuff done, and I'm the best person to do it. And for me, coming with the ideas isn't fun. It's exciting, and I really get into the zone, but the tedious job of putting these images together and putting these layers, putting these arrows, explanations, all these things that have to be done to make the product work. This is only I only accept it because it's the only way to get products in my hands. This is like the way. I'm really interested in the last stage when I open the box and I get it in my hands. And it's like, yeah, my baby. This is finally born. It's finally here, and I can send it to my designers, to my design team and ambassadors. I can see them excited, and I'm getting excited myself because I can finally put my fingers on the design, and I can finally touch them. I can see them in flesh. It's a little bit easier with the art mediums because you don't have to do so much of the graphic work as you do with stencils, stamps, or paper, or any kind of or embellishments and molds. They really need, for me, a lot of work that I don't enjoy. But it's really worth it to see the final product in your hands. It's really worth it to see they're done nicely. They're really according to what you wanted. This image that you found and then altered and resketched and did everything to it. It is really now this metal embellishment you wanted to have, and it really exists. It's not just thing on your screen. The problem is I prefer to do everything with my hands instead of screen. Like, I don't enjoy the graphic designing process. If it was possible just to go from here to the table, I would be just on it. If you can find some kind of software when you can just switch
So
to
you
my
will be
brain,
one
and then
of the first people to test those USB ports they want to develop, the ones that transfer your thoughts into the software. You would be up for it. I can see that.
I just want cool stuff. I want cool stuff, but there is so much you have to do to get it done. So that's why. But probably this is because I was never really, I was never educated as a designer. I always had to do it in a harder way because I never had the skills. I had to learn everything slowly. And now I found some ways to make my life easier. But still, this takes so much time. I just want it in my hands. Just give it to me. I want this way exactly. And that's it. That's the reality. Honestly, I love creating process, but the best part is when you have it in your hand and then you give it to the people and then you watch them and you watch them being, excited. You watch them creating, you watch them being happy, and this energy multiplies because you are excited and you put your, good energy into the product, but then people take it, change it into something else, and they give it to the world in a new form, and then other person takes that and change it, and then it's like chain reaction, and it's absolutely amazing to watch. And it's one of the most rewarding things because, as you mentioned before, it's not just the product is pretty. People use it to make themselves creative, to get relaxed or to create beautiful art. And that is so rewarding to know that it brings joy. It brings this kind of creative spark in people. And this is really, really the best part, I think.
Bella?
I agree with Anna. I do think that, yes, my favorite part has been seeing what other people do with it. So I had an idea in my head of what I would do with it, and then seeing what people are creating with it, I'm like sometimes just blown away. Like, wow, I would never have thought of putting this with that. Like, poof.
I think that you are the only one that actually I saw the genuine reaction when you got your first product, bench in your hand. And yeah, watching your excitement was like, oh my God, I was never that excited about my stuff. What's wrong with me?
I think the thing is, for me, the way that I work, it's just so exciting. So for me, yes, I can draw, and I am a trained graphic designer, so I think that does make a big difference. I'm still old school, so I still draw by hand. I wasn't trained on a computer at all. Yes, I'm that old, for those of you who are wondering.
No, she's not. She's lying.
I'm from the age of dinosaurs before computers. So yes, I still draw by hand. I still do all my original drawings like by hand, in pencil, and then they go from there. But so for me, I think because I'm trained in that whole process of like conceptualizing and making sure that everything is cohesive and works together, that brainstorming that I have with myself, like as I said, I'm an end user. My longest experience has been an end user. So sitting with myself going, okay, if I have this, then how would I use it? And what would I use it with? And what would I like to see with it? And how, blah, blah, blah. And so that's sort of brainstorming and coming up with ideas. And I don't have dreams like Nuneka, but I certainly wake up in the middle of the night with like, oh, I want to do this, and oh, I want to do that, and what about this? And so then, yes, having to write those things down, because otherwise it's just, my brain is like this constant firing of ideas and things, and obviously you can't use them all. It would be nice, but impossible. So you have to pick and choose the ones that will work together and be the most cohesive and work as a design. So for me, I think that is a very exciting process. And then seeing all of that come to reality when you actually hold those molds and you see how much detail is in them, and you it's just mind-blowing, because as Anna said, there's other companies out there. You take your little drawing and you put it out there, and it comes back as this amazing thing. It's really like, I felt like a kid at Christmas. I didn't know what to do with myself.
I know, but I always have to be the person who makes it happen. So I never see the samples for most of the time. If it's the product that you have to test, like the die cut or something like that, I rely on somebody else's opinion if that works or not, because shipping it here and then putting my input into that would not work. So usually I judge it on the first cuttings or first samples. I just watch my screen very closely, and I'm like, yeah, it's perfect, we can run with it, or no, this is unacceptable, we have to move it. So when I get the product, I already know what I'm getting, how it will look. I did all the packaging, I did all the branding, I did absolutely everything with that product. So it's nothing new, it's just something that I already was excited about, and it flattens down, and now it's just old tea that will spark the joy with some help. And usually I need somebody. I need like a good friend who would show me that I can be excited again about it. No. favorite part, I don't remember if I asked you, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we started with Anna. Favorite part and still the reaction of the people when you
I work with
yeah.
much smaller companies, and I'm also less experienced, but I still have two amazing moments. One is when I finally have everything and I send it. It's
Oh
like,
my god, I
first
love that
part of
moment.
the job is done. I can breathe again. Woo! And second part is when you have the products in your hands for the first time. I will never forget the day I have the Lindis. Not even the packaging ones. No, just the test. I was jumping with the test. I was like, she nailed it. Wow. That is amazing. That is an amazing moment. And the launching day when you really see it's real, because I had the test, but I didn't have,
The real
what
thing.
this people is going to buy. Oh, and when you see that in the stores all over the world, I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. That is really amazing moment. And when a store message you like, "Hey, Nunu, I'm bringing this to my store," and I like, "Oh, really? That is amazing." To me, it's really amazing because I feel really small compared to you girls, because you have a lot of experience.
Ew, why? Come on.
And I feel so lucky.
I think I was traumatized because every time when I was really excited about the products, like my first were papers that I designed for the shop in Poland that do not exist. It was even before my designs for Seven Dots, and Seven Dots designs didn't have that issue because I have so many people checking. But with the very first papers, when I had it in my hand, I was so excited that I ran to my wonderful husband that was doing my correction on the spelling. And the first thing that he said when he saw it, it wasn't, I don't know, meh, shitty, something like that. You don't spell it like that. So, every time when I show him something, he will be like, there is a spelling mistake. So basically, every time when I have my product in my hand, the first thing that I do is nervously checking the spelling stuff if everything is good, because once it's out, and then hopefully there is nothing kinky over there. I didn't misspell anything in the really wrong way.
I crap your life.
Oh, come on, it was just the title of the video and I changed it. Ugh, you will never let it go. Okay, girls, because we are 1 hour and a half live. It was very cool. I don't think we went through absolutely everything, and I will have to go through the comments because they were much faster than they are usually for me. I have
The
fun.
only question I've seen that we haven't
Yeah.
answered is how do we deal with creative burnout?
I don't deal with it at all. No,
You don't have it or you don't deal with it?
I just let it pass. I cannot have the creative burnout because it would stop me doing anything. So if I'm burned out, like completely have no idea on anything, I will recreate the favorite project in different colors. Then I know that composition will work. I know my steps. I know all my products that I'm using. I'm just doing different colors. So for now I'm doing it 10 plus years. So I have the whole library of go-to techniques that I can dive in. And it never happened that I will run off my backup plans and the burnout is still there. Something will happen. I will interact with someone or watch somebody's live stream on Patreon that would really totally change my way of thinking about stuff. Or just came across something, or sunny day will happen, or it always passed somehow. And I will link the Patreon, the thing that I'm talking about later on in the description. Okay, so now, Nunu, maybe you?
I don't think I have never burned out. I of in the creative process, designing or creating a project, I burn out from other stuff related to this community thing. But no, even if I feel like a little bit stuck, what I do is that I love swatches. So I just pick something and I start doing swatches, even if I already have the swatches. But color and texture and that, it always helps me with that. And yeah, you know, just use your stuff. Even if you are not creating anything, use it. Use it. Just try products because I'm very sure you have never tried to put, I don't know, clear texture paste together with paint and see what happens. Just do that. Maybe
The
you
what
find
if game.
something interesting. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
I'm looking for the comment to put it on the screen. I agree with everything that she said. I just disappeared for the second because I was confirming the alcohol choice for today. So
Very,
That's
very
good.
important.
Yeah.
okay, so Anna.
When it comes to burnout, I have a long story. So I've been burned out a couple of times in my life for different reasons. So I know the symptoms and I know what to do. So honestly saying, I don't believe creative burnout is going to happen to me if only I remember about important things such as sleeping and eating, for example. Because my job is so complex when it comes to different tasks I have to focus on. It's hard to get really bored or burn out on some of them because I have to switch kind of quickly from one to another, because there's one job when you have to do product designing, and then that's going to take some time, but then you leave it and then you switch to something completely different for weeks. Then you focus, for example, on making online classes or in-person classes, and then you focus on something else. And this way, kind of your energy is switching. So you are not using too much of one kind of energy that you have in you. So that should work in the matter of boredom or getting completely exhausted because producing the same kind of things over and over, which may, for example, happen when you work in design teams, when you are supposed to only produce projects and tutorials. You have a lot of fields you have to switch from from one to another. But the burnout happens when you forget you are a human and you have to do proper things such as having time off, sleeping, eating, and having some social life, which I neglected many times in different ways in my life. So I know what I have to do. If I'm getting to the point when I'm breaking because I can see it coming, I know I have to take a few steps back and I have to just switch off, disappear, sleep longer than usual, go out, do things so I can reset myself. And last year was perfect example how you can reset, because we were kind of forced to switch to different mode. Most of my energy was going into teaching in-person classes, and it is exhausting just because you have to travel, and also because when you have personal contact with people, this, and your energy runs out quicker because this is such an intense exchange. When you come back home, you just completely collapse and you are dead for some time. At least this is what happens to me. So I had to learn again how to adjust, and I can see from my experience when is the time I have to do something, otherwise things will go wrong. And luckily my husband, he can also say, because he saw me being on the edge of breakdown a couple of times, so he knows
Yeah,
the symptoms.
I already imagine him, like deplugging your
Yes.
computer and pushing the book with the coffee, like relax.
Because this is how it works. But sometimes you are inside of it, so you can't see the symptoms clearly. I'm getting better. The older I am, the better I am of recognizing the symptoms. And it's like when you are in the morning and you are already annoyed because somebody is trying to call you on your phone and you want to kill that person, that's probably one of the signs that you have reached the point where it's better to just disappear for some time before you're going to commit a crime and something will happen. This is the moment when I'm getting, too much attention. For example, people try to message me, people try to get things done. So I'm getting so much pressure. I'm just on the breaking point. This is the moment. Okay, sorry. But I had to learn the skills, but I also had to learn I have to give away some of my responsibilities. And that was the hardest job in my life. Because as probably most of us, we were used to having everything under control because we are responsible for artwork, we're responsible for photos, for projects, for everything. With the size of the brand I created with Prima, I'm not able to do everything myself anymore. I had to give away some of the responsibilities, and it was hard transition, but I did it. So now I can focus more on things which are only possible to be done by me. So I can give away, for example, social media part for somebody to manage. I can do a bit of the design team work just to people who are on the design team. I can give away some part of the responsibilities to somebody who's going to manage the posting on Facebook, for example. I don't have to do it all myself, although I was doing that for a long time. And this way, I can save the energy to do things which I have to do. Product designing, in-person contact with people, online classes or presentations, and being in touch now with the Patreon group and everybody. So I had to do that. And I'm not saying if you are getting comments from me, this is not me. Some of them, they're surely me. Some of them, that is my closest person that I have, that is working with me for years. So she knows me better than anybody in the world, and she knows exactly
what
what
is
is okay.
anything that you would not say.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what happens. You have to find the person who can be your voice in the moment when you are not able to say anything. Like somebody who's going to help you say, okay, this is what we are as a brand, and this is what we believe in as a brand. This is what we would like to support as a brand. So if I'm not present there in my own flesh, it's still cohesive message, and it's still going to be the same thing, because thanks to that, I could develop my own private space when I can create as well as an artist. I didn't want to disappear in a brand completely, because this would not be good in any way, because my personality would disappear under the product, and I would be unhappy because I wouldn't have enough freedom to do anything. So I had to find a way how to make brand work and me as an artist work, and it took years to make that separation, but it was important, and now kind of works, because they're going side by side, of course, because this is the same values, the same person behind it, but then I'm able to give away part of that work to somebody who can help me run the brand. So that was a huge thing. And I'm so grateful I have that person on my side, because I would be completely lost and I would be crying if she would just disappear, because I would be not able to run everything I do without extra help. I have to say, this is if you reach the point when you are, for example, product designer, and you are responsible for things such as marketing, such as designing of the product, such as teaching, such as all these things which are connected with the presentation of the brand to the world, because this happens with me. Basically, we present my brand the way I wanted. So Prima only does they use our resources to present on their website. I have to have control. So I have to also learn how to give away some of the responsibilities. And that saved me from insanity and being completely like a bubbling mad person sitting in the
But
corner rocking and
it
crying.
took so much time, because I remember that for some time your creative side was more hyperactive, like Bella, almost daily you were posting something. Then
Yeah.
the teaching part was the most active, and
Yeah.
now I think that you are very close to the golden balance, between everything.
Oh, it's very hard to learn that. Nobody tell you what is the recipe. You have to find your own according to your personality, and you
Because,
don't
it
want
will
to lose anything.
it will depend also on your support system that you have at home and around you, because I'm a headless chicken for most of the time, and if I wake up and I'm not pissed that something is wrong, then something is wrong for me. If I wake up and I'm not angry, that means that something happened, and probably I should be sad if we are not angry. The anger is my default emotion. Before the first coffee, I don't even touch my phone. It doesn't matter if somebody is messaging or calling. We didn't have the coffee. It's not worth to pick up the phone and do something before I calm myself down and be in my everyday
Similar,
bubble. Yeah, and
you should not talk to me in the morning because that's death.
Yeah, so
surely.
for most of the time I filter everything through someone. They're not always volunteering, but if I already have them on the phone, they have no other choice.
I'm a captive filter.
Yeah, but that is surprising, because I know that you run all your stuff and nobody is running them for you, but nobody knows how many things I would not run without your help. Basically everything would fall apart like 6 months ago if I would not have the option to rely on support system, and as well at home. My husband is very supportive, but you need to have in your house, if you want to be a product designer or teacher, international teacher especially, everyone involved in your household have to be up for it, because it takes a lot from you and from family. As it doesn't matter how many people or units are in your family, it takes a lot. So you need to have a good support system, because I need my husband to tell me time to time, like, hey, maybe you will close the laptop and we will sit and do some shit, some stuff. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, so I need that person who will tell me, like, hey, maybe relax.
Yeah,
Belinda relax,
has
exactly.
superpowers. She has helped me a lot too. And she has this superpower. I don't know how you do it, but you count people with your magic. And everything is
we have to get to know, from the designer point of view, we have to get to know how she's doing, bottle it up, and start to selling. Yeah. I can design the package.
You guys are hilarious.
Yeah, but we are sideways again. And the question about the creative block. So now, Nunu.
No, Bella.
Oh, Bella, sorry.
Yes.
There goes my chicken. Headless chicken.
Because I already see comments on the chat, and sorry that we are not replying to the comments, but they are tiny and I cannot put them on the screen. I will go through them and ask girls on Priv, and next time I will clear out all the important emergencies. Okay, so now Bella.
Oh, creative block. I don't really have creative block. I know that sounds wrong. Burnout, yes. Like Anna says, I have to watch me as a person, because yes, especially when you are teaching, it is very draining emotionally, and I'm what's called an empath, so I feel everything. Like I am very aware of how my students are reacting to the class, and yeah, so I find that incredibly draining. And so yes, I need my husband and family to be really supportive, because the problem is, as an artist and as a designer, you are giving of yourself. And I have to be very aware of that and do things for me. And so I've learned, I meet a friend once a week and go for a walk in Berlin. I meet Olga for coffee. I have to do things that fill me up as a person, not just as an artist and a designer, because I have to be able to give to everybody, my family, my friend, so if my pot is not full, I can't give. So I've had to learn to make sure that I put boundaries in place, that I don't overstep the mark, that I don't give in to what I call toxic people and situations. So I've had to learn to manage myself, because if I don't do that, I'm no good to anybody. If I'm falling apart. So and I'm always the go-to person for a lot of people. So I've had to learn to find people who I can go to, because as the person who everybody turns to, I also need a support system. So that has been, I mean, one grows constantly as a person, as an artist, as a designer, and one's needs change all the time depending on where you're at. So constantly just really listening to yourself, listening to what you need, and sometimes just being selfish, and doing what you need, blow the rest of the world in what they want and need, because nobody else is going to look after you except you. So that is something that I've had to learn to do, because running myself ragged didn't do myself any good. And so that is how I roll. So yes, sometimes I will disappear off social media. I will take myself off for a weekend and just walk in the park, go in the snow if there's snow, and take photographs, and let the locals think, there goes that crazy woman again. But
in the shiny shoes, I will mention that she went for snow in the glitter shoes.
In my shiny dogs, yes, in my glitter dogs.
I love them. I love them. They don't make that model. They don't make the glittery one anymore.
So yes, it's finding ways to fill yourself up and listen to yourself, because yes, before you have that burnout, because when you've got that burnout, it's hard to come back from that.
What else you can do? Because I really felt burnt just once, and I just said, F it. I dropped absolutely everything that I felt that is so that is choking me, that is stopping me, that I decided to just roll it back to the moment when I felt the most happy, the most creative, the most me, myself, and I.
Can I say something? Because I felt I answered this question in a very different way than you.
But you can still add to it. No worries.
I always have had quite a stressful jobs. I used to work organizing trips in the desert with carrying lots of people, sometimes whole families with kids. That was very stressful. I feel like we all have this, as an artist, we have this obsession. This is not only what we do, it's what we love, it's our passion. So we tend to, as Anna said, forget about the rest, forget to sleep, forget to eat. And sometimes you have to force yourself to go back to the other things of your life. And that is very important. And
I know what you mean. The thing that drains you also relax you, and how to find the balance. Because to relax, I would do some art probably, but sometimes you have to relax from making art all the time,
yes,
because
that's the thing. You have to force yourself to stop. You sometimes have to push everything and go and look at the ceiling, or watch Netflix, or go for a walk, or I don't know, whatever. And you have a long list of tasks to do. And yeah, it's there. You have to do this, you have to do that, the classes, the pattern, the designing. I have to post this, I have to focus on that, I have to prepare this video, do that post. But you have to force yourself, and okay, 1-2 days are not going to kill you. So stop it, forget it, and do something else. That is very important.
I really
it is important. And also what is important, for example, now I discovered that last year, my usual way of recharging and doing things a little bit easier for me was to leave home, because I work from home. So if I was removing myself from my workplace, it was easier to relax. I could go somewhere and I could just travel, and that was my main way to decompress and to go. Now I can't. It was very hard for me to find new ways of taking myself away from the studio, or taking myself away from thinking about work. And usual things, it was my husband was basically taking me from there, putting in the car, and putting me, close to the ocean, for example. That would be the easiest. But this year we couldn't, because in Ireland there's quite strict. It's really quite strict about traveling. You should stay inside of your own district, not too far. So I had to find ways how to distract myself from working or thinking about work, because my whole life is organized around this. And not just my life, my husband's life and my life. We don't have any other things we focus on, except, we've got animals, we've got small,
furry
gardens
babies.
and so on.
I wanted to mention that you have a lot of furry babies to focus on in the break.
Yeah.
So it's like quite busy.
I tried doing that. Yeah, but honestly, if you are, luckily this space we can close and we can stay in the house pretending this does not exist. But I had to find new thing. Usually my biggest thing I was waiting for, it was, okay, I will work very hard now, and then I will go for a week of vacation. Or I will work again very, very hard now, and then I will go somewhere for 3 days. This was taken away from me, and it was very hard for me to find something. And I was going between being depressed and lost and things. I'm getting better, but it is not easy to force yourself to do things which are good for you sometimes.
But you're getting better and better from watching you. Lately in on the Instagram, you posted couple more lifestyle posts that I would call
trying to distract myself.
Yeah, but then you make me want to buy sweaters. It's not a sweater weather anymore. And I just looked at the pictures and I was like, yeah, I need a new sweater, definitely. Sounding cool. And it can be also the distraction. And you choose your distractions still in the artsy form.
Yeah, you have to.
Because
this is sometimes really hard.
But it's hard to find the balance, doing artsy stuff relax you, but it also becomes your job. There is a hard, it's really hard to tell yourself like, okay, I can finish it in the morning. It's 3 a.m. I deserve at least 2 hours of sleep. Because I'm so into it. I want to see it done. I want to see the final outcome.
We don't know how to disconnect, because even if you are watching a movie, you are thinking of this, that things there. Yeah, you know, like, yeah, and I want the movie to finish because I want to go to the table and finish this and do that. Oh, I have an amazing idea and I have to do this. And it's impossible to disconnect sometimes. And you feel guilty when you do it. And that
I don't feel guilty. I refuse to feel guilty. I don't feel guilty at all. But I'm just like, in the worst case scenario, you know, I already like cut off the major part of my artsy life once, and world didn't collapse. So on the back of my head, I know that in case that I really have enough, I can just cut it off for, and the world will keep on turning and I will keep on living. And yeah, it will be stressful for a short period of time, but then you're living your best life. You can, you know, just swing on the chair and sparky, corny rainbow glitter everywhere, and it's fine. And things will fall in the new place.
No, maybe it's how I am, because I have this problem also in the previous job. Like, I was road tripping a country and I was already taking notes. Oh, in the next trip, we have to do this, we have to go there, and we have to change this. So it's like I don't know the word in English, but it's like dreaming in the dream. You know, you're inside of it.
I can tell you the word in English. It's called Inception, and they made a movie about it. Probably you watched it, but you didn't focus on the movie because you were thinking about the next project.
Probably.
Okay. I will wait because I don't know if Anna have troubles with internet or her phone went down, because we're supposed to be live for an hour and it's 2 hours. I think that her phone died. So, what to do? I don't know. Okay, we can wrap it up. And if you guys have any more questions, then, oh yeah, she's back. Yep, she's back. She's back. I'm, in this case, I'm betting on the internet. But basically, we can wrap this one up. And if there will be more questions, or if you guys want to chit chat about the struggles a little bit more, we can meet up another day. From me, thank you to all of you for joining me and discussing the cool topic. And I really enjoy those conversations because with all of you, I chit chat a little bit about those topics on prep, and I think that, you know, just talking about it, that sometimes it's hard and sometimes it sucks, but we can push through it, and there are always the positive sparks at the end, even if the way wasn't super smooth. And hearing that other people have similar experience always makes me feel a little bit better, like it's a confirmation that there is nothing wrong with me, that it's how it looks for everyone, more or less. So thank you, and thank you everyone on the chat for joining us. Today we had so many people. We had Frau Pony, Penny, we had David, Jess, I saw that Tiffany stepped by, we had Nicole, and there is also, oh my God, I'm scrolling, Lala V and Karen, and thank you guys for constant support and for coming for those rumbling moments. Okay, so now I will like to say goodbye to Anna. Okay.
Bye. Thanks so much, everybody.
No, it's here. No.
Yeah. So thank you so much for inviting me to the chat, and thank you, the three of you, because you all have given me great advice every time I need it, even if you don't know. You know what I mean? Sometimes I was going to ask something,
Yeah,
but
I have no idea where I could give you a good advice. And now I'm scared. Bella?
I'm glad I could help.
Thanks for inviting me. And yeah, I think just letting the world know that behind all of this, we're human and we're real, and it doesn't just happen. I think it's also good for people to know that. So yeah, thanks for the opportunity to put everything out there.
Okay, so I will roll the outro and we will be out. Thank you, and happy Easter, everyone. And it wasn't an April Fool's live stream.
Hey.
I forgot to disclose it. It wasn't funny.
don't forget that we have
You have to say it again. Sorry, I was too quick.
we have super special weekend because it's already 1 year since we start doing the Saturday live stream hopes.
Yeah, and actually, everyone on the screen were the part of the Saturday Hope on some point. Yeah, yes. So this Saturday, and you could see on Instagram that it will be very exciting, and it will be 2-day hop. So don't
We
miss
have
it.
giveaways.
We have prizes.
Don't tell anyone.